Okay. Still drinking the lemon limeade. It's delicious. It's really good. Okay. Okay, tapering. Let's talk about tapering. Here's the deal. And I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but I think we all need a reminder, right? Your taper should be a bit uncomfortable. A good taper will be uncomfortable. It will be hard. It will have its difficulties, okay? Like I always say, you know, when you jump off of an opioid, whatever, the war, it's war. I mean, it's total freaking war, okay? We know that. You give it everything. Well, the taper is like a Cold War that gets hot sometimes, and then the diplomacy, you know what I mean? Like, they get it together, and then things kind of cool off, because it is a war, but it's a different war. You're building up to this invasion. You know, there's two superpowers that are slowly building up, and there's this Cold War, but then, it's like if Russia and the United States actually went to war, like back in the day. Well, honestly, we're so much closer to war with China than Russia. Anyway, okay. Right now. Anyway, but it'd be like that. In fact, we really are in that Cold War. I'm sorry. Okay. But that's the way I always looked at it like that. But, with the taper, comes dedication. I mean, that's just what it freaking is. And some people just can't taper. I understand that. But if you're tapering, we know it takes dedication. Okay. And it kind of prepares you, though. It does kind of prepare you for jumping off of it, because it's, if you're dedicated that far, it can really help once you finally jump. But as we know, there's a lot of you guys, and it's just very common. It just is what it is. You get down low, and in the red zone is what I like to call it, and things just kind of stall out, And taking that final step or getting down a little lower can be very, 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 very difficult. Okay. But just remember, I mean, this is just what it is. I know I say this stuff all the time. If you want to taper and get off of this drug, the whole process, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be fun. I've talked to people, and it sucks, and I've talked to many people. I've talked to people that got YouTube channels, all that, where they're like, I'll be going through, like, it was like on day, or month 4 of Suboxone withdrawal, and I'm like, man, I'm still dealing with pause, and I had someone be like, this is why I'm going to taper so low, and it's like, okay, and they're not even off of it yet. They're on a low dose, or they've just stayed there. The point, like, I want to tell them is, like, yeah, think of this. Like, I jumped off at a half a freaking milligram, okay? I'm still feeling this at 4 months. Like, you think you're just going to taper your way out of post-acute withdrawals? I mean, it can help some stuff in some ways, but, I always use this example. Say, okay, I'm going to use Cindy as a freaking example right now. Cindy, you're awesome. She jumped off at 24 milligrams like 8 weeks ago, okay? 24 milligrams. So let's say 8 weeks ago, you have a person that's on a half a milligram, and then you have Cindy at 24. Well, clearly the winner right now is the person at half a milligram, right? Well, Cindy jumps, and the person on a half a milligram, let's say that they're at 0.35 milligrams today. They've tapered more in those 8 weeks. So let's just say 0.25. They're at a quarter of a milligram. Well, Cindy's been off of this stuff for freaking 8 weeks. She's ahead of the game. She's ahead of the game. She's paying it. She went to the car lot and freaking put the money down, okay? The other person is taking a 15-year loan, maybe a 30-year loan, maybe the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And it's not, don't be irrational, like plan out your jump and stuff, but that's just things to think about, Your taper should not be necessarily fun. It's going to minimize some of the acute withdrawals and some of the pause, possibly, if you do I don't know. It's just so hard for me. I hear that, but it's hard for me to believe the whole thing, because there's two things where it makes sense. Like, okay, let's say you go from a milligram to a half, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go to a half a milligram from that half, and then I'm going to be on a half a milligram for a good long time to kind of, does this make sense, to like eliminate the half a milligram that I jumped off of that pause? So say you go from a milligram to a half a milligram, and you're like, I'm going to be on that for a year. Let's just say a year, to get rid of that half a milligram post-acute withdrawals. Well, okay, Maybe that's true. However, you've been on a 0.5 milligram for another year, or maybe it's 6 months, another 6 months. That payment has still not been paid either. So I don't buy that. I don't buy that you can just taper your way out of post-acute withdrawals. In fact, I know you can't, dude, because I've jumped off of higher amounts, and I tapered down to a 0.5 milligram of Suboxone. I freaking dealt with that crap for like a year plus. I mean, 14 months, 15 months. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, so don't buy into that, really. You're not going to avoid it. It's not going to be comfortable. And dude, your life, the better freaking life is waiting for you, dude. And I know I'm regurgitating stuff. I just made a video not even long ago about quit putting off getting clean. I guess the point of this video is supposed to be about tapering. But yeah, stay dedicated to it, okay? Stay dedicated to it, but don't get too comfortable. If your goal, if you want it in your heart, that's the thing, is when I make these videos, it's because this channel, it's not necessarily, you can be here. I have people that I have people that watch this that don't even have drug problems sometimes. They'll tell me, like, I just like, whatever, listening to some things, which is freaking awesome. But this is geared toward people that want to get off of this stuff and get their life back. So I'm really just trying to, like, dude, this is what it is. Like, this is what it is, man. And it should not be, if you're not comfortable, if things aren't going that great, or you're not feeling great, you're doing a damn good job. That's what that freaking means. That means your body's healing. That means you are on your way. If you get too comfortable and you just, you get down and you're just kind of taking the same amount, so you're stagnant, and you're just kind of, you know what I mean? Which is, some people, you got to level off, and sometimes mentally you're just like, okay, I'm not ready, but I'm going to stay low. That's fine. That's fine. Everyone's recovery is different, but you know what I mean? I'm just being blunt. Like, this is just the reality. But the longer you're on it, the more, the whole thing is just prolonged. The taper isn't freaking fun itself, and getting off of it, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe, like, say you're on 32 milligrams for 1 year and you got down to a 0.5 milligram in 1 year that fast, but then you're on a 0.5 milligram for 10 years or something like that. I mean, again, they're got to pay it. You got to freaking pay it some way or another. There's no way to avoid it, dude. So we got to accept it, okay? But stay dedicated to your taper. I don't know why I'm doing this. We flip people off. But what's the other one? Oh, this. I don't get it. Maybe it's in another, like, country or something, different culture, and they do that. I don't really know. God bless. Dude, I almost did that. No, shut it. God bless all y'all, and salute.